First of all, like James, I've been at Blue Chilli just on 3 weeks. So if I make a mistake tonight, you know why. Now, I joined not because we did rate number 3 last year in the BRW stakes, but more importantly, last year, when I was working at Macquarie, we tried to bring Blue Chilli in to accelerate our innovation capabilities. So in essence, my background, I spent 20 years plus in corporate banking, financial services, both on the business side and the technology side. So having the pleasure and sometimes displeasure of building large global trading systems, I kind of got used to the fact that being in the corporate world, sure, we get to spend a lot of money building some pretty robust platforms, but we didn't too often get to play with the cool stuff. And I came back to Australia last year after 14 years overseas to work for Macquarie Bank. So my role there was to run the wealth platform and then the digital platforms. And so I thought this is pretty good. Macquarie, innovative, entrepreneurial, it shouldn't be too hard. Well, it wasn't too different to any other company that I've worked for, and it was quite challenging. But so what I looked to do was to bring in, at least to partner with some of the outside guys that are smaller, faster, and more nimble, and actually try and leverage them both from an execution standpoint, but also from a cultural standpoint. So I brought Blue Chilli in. We ran 2 projects. I left 6 months ago. We started those projects close to 12 months ago, and they're still sitting there. So as I said, I came to being in Blue Chilli and setting up this innovation lab, largely because of my frustration with the ability to build stuff. Now, like all of us, I love to build. I love to find problems, to solve those problems, and my tool set is business, domain, and technology. And so one of the innovations that's very recent that we brought over to Blue Chilli is this innovation lab. And in essence, what it does, it allows us to help companies achieve a risk-managed and an innovation-led competitive advantage. So in essence, it's a lab. You get to play outside. You get to play in a safe place. So there's a number of different ways we can innovate. My view is there that it's very hard to innovate on the inside. Now, it's not necessarily the same for everyone, but I found it very difficult. And the intent of the Blue Chilli lab is actually to provide that safe place for companies to innovate on the outside. And we do that through applying typical principles around disruptive innovation and the rest from some of the great leaders, Clayton Christensen, Eric Ries, and the rest. So it's only 3 weeks old. We're still working through that, so it's a big challenge there. But getting back to Blue Chilli and running 3rd last year in the innovative stakes, Blue Chilli is an incubator. It's a startup. It's 3 years old, so very young. It took at least half of that time to get to really to run it up to where it is today. But in essence, it's built 35 startups in about a year and a half. 8 of those have raised around 4.2 mil, and their stable of startups is valued at around 62 million. So Blue Chilli innovation, what does it mean? The first thing is what's the problem? What problem are we trying to solve? And it's really twofold. For a lot of us, and I say us now because I'm not the corporate guy anymore, but for a lot of us, it's the challenge is investors are very risk averse at providing capital in the early stages of innovation. The second one is there that founders tend to spend a lot of their budget on building tech solutions. So what Blue Chilli did was actually redesign the way we build early stage digital startups. So instead of investing cash into a business, what we do, we invest time into technology, to marketing, to our creativity, and to business and financial services. In essence, we've created an incubator, unlike plenty of others out there, but we use that incubator to support these businesses. So in essence, what we do is we provide the technical support to founders who found a commercial need but just don't have the technical know-how. So in essence, we provide the technology, everything else, so that founders focus purely on the growth of their business. So our model is based on 4 things. First one is we provide software development and the creativity of digital agencies. We provide the business development of startup accelerators. We provide the community and the mentor-led approach of an incubator. And finally, we provide capital management of a VC. In essence, we invest, or we take ownership of companies anywhere from a couple of percent up to 30%, depending on the level of risk that they bring or the capital they bring. And the key to that is we've aligned both the goals of the founder and the goals of Blue Chilli so that we're both invested in the success of the company. Now, we call that process the venture tech process. It's a new term. I think it's starting to float out there. But again, the point is that we allow founders, basically CTO-less founders, to build companies, digital businesses, focused purely on building out that business. The other one is, in terms of how we accelerate that, is we've built a technology platform called Chilli Sauce. And that's thousands of hours of building the platform. It's Microsoft-based. The point is there that whereas when you build large platforms, you tend to invest in large components of code, large classes and the rest. What we've done is, Sept, the founder, has taken a different approach, and he's broken down this entire platform to be hundreds of very, very small units of code. And the benefit there is that when we go and build businesses, if we have a business where it's an online business, create a new form or some kind of relatively generic process, we're able to take each of those very, very small components and pull it into a library and actually build it, or pull it together and deliver a technical outcome. So in essence, we do not have to build everything from scratch. And this allows us to actually build 35 startups a year and a half to date, with a target of 100 startups by 2016. Now, the thing about the Chilli Sauce is that there's around 75% code reuse every time we start a new business, but the IP for each of those businesses is still very unique to each project. Think about Microsoft, right? We don't own Microsoft code, but everything we build on top of Microsoft is ours. So they're the two innovative things that I've seen and that really attracted me to leave 20 years of safe banking to come over to Blue Chilli. We talked about culture, and I think culture is one that it's very difficult to construct. I think culture has to happen largely from the bottom up, but certainly led from top down. And the way Blue Chilli has done it, I think very fortunate, is we're a small company, and so we're able to have a very flat management structure. No middle management. I know, it's quite a change. I don't know where I sit, but being very flat, what happens is you get to do everything. But the way Blue Chilli ensures that it has a competent model is we use our technology platform, Chilli Sauce, and strong online processes to manage our projects. And each of our technical staff, we've got 22, each of them gets involved in every project. So we empower our people through allowing them to take ownership and to actually involve themselves in projects. Now every day we have stand-up, and each week they get to talk about projects, either internal or external. We also, on a weekly basis, invite the public in to talk to us and provide pitches and guide them through what works and what doesn't work. And we have an award which we review every week, which is the biggest failure. It's a golden rooster statue, so I don't want to go too much into it, but basically someone that screws up gets the award. And I think in corporate land, I've never ever been rewarded or incentivized for making a mistake. And I think, let's qualify that. I think the thing about being in the corporate world is that everything's a decision. And I think, you either procrastinate because it's a tough decision, you don't have enough data, or you don't want to make the wrong decision. And this whole shift from decision-making to experimentation, for me, changes the context. So to what Paul said earlier, it's putting context around the new meaning. And I think when we look at how we innovate within Blue Chilli versus how we used to do things in the corporate world, if you can make that contextual shift and think about experimentation and think about investing in experiments, doing R&D, the whole risk model changes. So I love the culture there. It's great going back to a small business, and everyone's fully invested. Let me give you one example of one of the innovations that was in before me, but I think it's a great one. It's called Housel. Housel is an online application or tenancy platform that allows tenants to apply for rental via the mobile phone. So how does it do it? Two things. Firstly, the ID check is online. So it's a completely online process, 100-point check, online. The second thing is when you go to an open house, you take your phone, you take a photo of a QR code, and you've already entered your information once through the online checking form. Every open house you go to, take a photo, QR code, bam, or what was it, boom, and your rental form is through into the system. So what it does, it simplifies the process. It's completely digital. The property managers have real-time access to what's going on. And the only paper that's produced is the lease at the end. So, Paul, when you work out how to do all your paperless, let's have a chat. So I think that, I mean, I just moved back from the US 3 years ago, and I'm still renting. I tell you what, the tenancy process is terrible. What's worse is when something breaks. So if anyone's got some ideas out there, actually how to manage that process, love to have a chat. So in essence, that's Blue Chilli. We last year Seb and team listened to 2,300 pitches, and we actually take on around 1%. So the other thing I get asked is, coming from corporate to Blue Chilli, is how do you manage that risk? Well, you're a startup, you're loose, you shoot from the hip. Well, actually, similar to what James mentioned at CCA, is we have a very strong, robust process that takes an idea all the way through to Series A at 156 points. I haven't seen them all, but I've heard it is. Actually, that's what the book is called. So there definitely is 156 different steps that we take to take an idea from initiation through to exit. And when I think from corporate world, again, to me, that really demonstrates there that innovation isn't something that just is an idea and just happens. You do need a structured process. You don't have to go overly formal, but you need structure. Innovation has to be repeatable to be sustainable. And at Blue Chilli, that's what we do. So thank you.